Is a pan the organizer or pan the advertiser? Let's find out. What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be checking out the rest of Pan's new Clean by Pan line. And all jokes aside, I'm a big fan of Pan because he's part of the reason why I got started in detailing in the first place. But we're checking out the products here, not him. So we'll be focusing on the products and how they perform. And previously, we already checked out Pan's new rinseless wash. It's a good rinseless wash. It does what a rinse is supposed to do. It has good slickness, good scent, and it cleans very well too. So it definitely performs well, but is it the best? I couldn't tell you that because comparing it to that other rinseless wash, I couldn't really tell a huge difference. So if you haven't checked out the video, I'll have it in the card here or link down below. Now today, we'll be checking out the new spray polish. This is very similar to DIY Detail's gold standard polish. Since they're both spray polishes, they're kind of like all-in-one polish and pad dependent. So let's see how it is. And here we have his tire shine, which is also solvent based. So we'll be testing that against Copper Dark Side, kind of like our benchmark, to see how it compares to Copper Dark Side, one that we're very used to. And lastly, we also have this new spray sealant. This is probably his most talked about product. I couldn't get it in 16 ounce, so I got it in a gallon. I'm not complaining because I'm sure this will be a great product, but let's get to testing it, showing you guys how they perform. So let's get to it. So first, I'll be checking out the tire dressing. But before I put on the tire dressing, you really have to prep the tires so it's down to just bare rubber. That way, the tire dressing can have the best chance of bonding to the rubber. Therefore, you'll get better longevity, especially when it's a solvent-based tire dressing like this. It's meant to last. So let's give it its best chance. Now normally, I would just go ahead and scrub the tires with my APC, but since I'm putting on a tire dressing slash sealant, I usually like to strip the tires a little more extra. So this is Dark Fury. I have it diluted 4:1 here. Now this is great for stripping off old tire dressings or tire sealants. This will prep your tire to just bare rubber. So before I put on these, I like to just use this to make sure it's just the bare tires. All right, so now it's all scrubbed down. I can rinse it off. Now after your wheels dried off, you also want to dry off your tires, because before you apply the tire dressing, your tire has to be completely dried. Now even wiping off right now, oh by the way, this is how clean it is with Dark Fury. So even after you wipe off the tire, it's still gonna be a little moist. You wanna let it air dry after you have hand dried it. Just give it about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your conditions. So it's completely bone dry. Then we'll apply the tire dressing. But while the tires are drying, I'll be checking out the spray polish. I'm gonna polish this hood. And of course, it comes with this sprayer. It's a Toco sprayer, which is a very nice sprayer. So I'm gonna open it. It smells like pina colada. It's definitely a very fruity kind of scent. So let's get this in here. So with the polisher here, I'm gonna spin it and give it 2 sprays, just like the instruction asks to. So now I'm ready to polish. Let's see how it goes. So first impression, just like DIY's spray polish, this has a very long work time. This whole third of the hood, there's not one spot that's getting dry and or dusting. It's staying moist the whole time. So that on that part is impressive, as a spray polish should be. So let's wipe it off and see. Wow. So the wipe off is insanely easy. It appears draggy in the beginning, and if you give it a couple passes, this all clears up. And a spray polish is not known to be very heavy on cut, but I can tell you this definitely shined up this part of the hood from looking at it in person. It cleared up a lot of the imperfections. As I was doing passes, I could see it taking out some of the little light etchings that was on this hood. So it's definitely a good spray polish. So you can see it's definitely removing some oxidation. So I'm using a DIY waffle pad, which isn't a heavy cut pad. It cuts a little enough where it will remove light swirls and remove oxidation. And that's what I'm seeing here. It clears up the paint and makes it look a little deeper in terms of depth. Since it's also a spray polish, it's very similar to DIY's gold standard polish. After working it a little, it does leave this texture behind. It's kind of like a leopard texture, and this is something that I don't notice on the gold standard. I don't really know what it means. It still wipes off completely the same, but just one observation that I found with the difference between this and the gold standard. So here's a comparison. This is an unpolished side. So as I move around, if you look around that white dot, you can see the imperfections, the scratches and swirls. It's pretty surface level. Now let's move on to the side that I just worked on. Can't see any. So in terms of removing light swirls, light scratches, it worked great. So it's been a little bit. Tire is bone dry at this point. However, water likes to collect down here, so that you can just give it a wipe up. But tire is bone dry, it's ready for the tire shine. So this tire shine actually comes with a squeeze top like this. So you just pop this out and you can squeeze it out. And I think this is designed to use a foam applicator for application, but I really dislike that. I really like using brushes because I just think it's faster, it's easier, it's my preference. So what I'm gonna do is, I have a spray head here. I'm gonna see if this can spray, like what I did to dark side. So it's like a jelly kind of liquid. Smells like arse. Yeah, this doesn't have any scent, which really doesn't matter because it's tire shine. Why do you need scent in it? Now I'm gonna remove this tip at the bottom of the sprayer to give it the best chance of sucking up the thick liquid. Have it nice and lined up like Matt Mormon likes. All right. Ooh. Yeah, so it does spray. Sprays kind of like what dark side does. I'm gonna brush it on. You know what? I can smell a little bit of that arse smell. Because it's probably because I'm spraying it. That's why I can smell it, because it's mystifying it. All right, so this applies very easily. You can see it almost applies a little easier than dark side. I gave it about, what, 5 or 6 sprays on the brush, and it has that good shine as well. But yeah, first impression, smells like ours, applies very easily, and the brush does work. So, very happy with this product. This tire, we're gonna be applying dark side. So, definitely say dark side smells a little better, well, a lot better. But depending on how you're applying it, you may not smell it at all, so it may not matter to you. But to my preference, I like using it on a brush. So if you're using it on a brush, the user experience might be a little better. Our dark side also spreads very easily, but I just kind of felt like pans might be not as thick as dark side, so it kind of spread it a little easier. So lastly, we have his new ceramic spray sealant, and I have it in a gallon bottle here. So I poured it into this spray bottle here that I got from Home Depot. I actually really like these bottles because if you open it up, you can see the opening mouth is actually wide. So it makes pouring things into there very easily. The sealant smells really good. Kind of like this candy apple smell. The smell is kind of, gives you that kind of same fruity feeling. Not feeling fruity, but fruity scent. So it definitely smells like a very good cocktail. Maybe that's what Pan's going for, especially with that tire shine, maybe just straight up vodka. But anyway, let's see how it sprays and what kind of slickness it provides. So the car is all washed and dried. So now I'm gonna spray it on to see how it is as a drying aid or as a sealant. There we go. Not maybe too much, but let's see. So this is how it feels on paint. Just normal, not really slick. Now here. Yeah, definitely provides a lot of slickness. It's just gliding on the paint now. So just instantly, you get that slickness on your paint. Now in this store, I have Pan's rinseless here. I'm gonna spray it on, just very lightly, as if we just washed the car, and there's some rinseless left here. So we're drying the car, and a lot of times we're gonna combine the steps together, drying and applying sealant. So let's see how it works when it's combined to a step like this. Yeah, that slickness is very good. Now obviously we'll come back to show you guys a water test after to see if there's a difference between the two with two different kind of application. And of course, this can be applied on windows as well. So you can definitely see immediately it glosses up the paint. Now this is not a super well-maintained car, and I haven't polished the whole car either. So for a car like this, when you put on the sealant, you can immediately see how the paint is glossing up. So that's something that's very well done on these spray sealants. Now this is the roof, And on this side, I'm going to spray hand sealant into this towel and apply it like that. And on the other side, I'll use ceramic gloss to kind of see how they differ so I can do a side-by-side comparison, because I think that'll give you a better understanding as to how this feels instead of just me describing how it feels. Is, you know, anyone's gonna say, oh, this just feels great, because it does. But without comparison, you can't really know, well, how great is it. So 2 sprays. So of course the paint felt grabby in the beginning, and now immediately feels like it's freeing up. One thing I noticed is when I wipe, I can actually see some traces left behind, and it flashes off. That's something I haven't seen in these kind of spray sealants. So that's one interesting thing. Maybe it plays into the longevity of the spray sealant, because usually that's something you see in coatings. You can see it especially in oversprays. So you want to be careful when you apply this, because the little atomized mist, when it gets on other panels, it'll leave this texture behind. So you just want to be aware of that. And it definitely wipes off easily. If you leave it for a little while, you might have to go a couple passes. Like right now, I'm going a couple passes and a slight pressure to get that wiped off. So it seems like this spray sealant might be more stout than other kinds of spray sealants. So just be careful of that. So over here, I'll be using ceramic gloss to kind of do a side-by-side comparison. And I'm using the same exact towel. So spray into the towel, 2 sprays. I'll wipe on. Yeah, so same thing. The beginning of wiping on feels a little grabby, but as you wipe and you go back to the same area again, it feels very slick. And the thing with ceramic gloss is that I think it's probably more user-friendly, because as I'm wiping on, it flashes off so quickly. And even if I get some overspray on here, I'm gonna leave it for a sec, let the wind blow on it, kind of dry it off a little, and I'm gonna come back to it. All right, so it's been a minute or two. You can see it's dried off a little. So now I'm gonna use the same towel and just wipe off. And this is definitely a lot easier to wipe off. At first, it leaves that trace behind as well, because they both have ceramic in it. But 2 passes, it goes away. It's definitely easier to wipe off than the other side. So over here, this is the trunk. And you see all these spots here? This is from the overspray when I was doing the roof. And the wind blew all the atomized sealant onto the hood, and it's leaving all these high spots. So that's what I was talking about, that you gotta be very careful with. Now I'm gonna use the same towel, just wipe over to see if this removes. Kind of. It's wiping away, but you do have to go over a couple times and use a little bit of pressure. So imagine in a couple days, this might be a little harder. But again, this is just something you want to be very careful with, because if you don't catch that, and let's say if you use it on a customer's car, they drive away, they're gonna see this and they're gonna be like, you messed up my paint. Let's see if I spray it on here and towel. Yeah, so it's kind of like removing high spots from coatings. You just apply a little bit more on your applicator and go over the same spot, go over your high spot, and that will kind of remove all the high spots and level things again. Just make sure if you use this product, you go back and check the car again, or just spray into the towel because spraying into towel always prevents overspray and spray away from the car. So that way it's a little easier. So after trying out all Pan's new products, except for the shampoo, I can definitely say that these are all high quality products and they all work, but while I say they're the best, I think that really just still depends on the individual user experience. So I cannot say they're the best responsibly. So what I can say is, first, the spray polish, this compares to the gold standard, I would say this actually cuts a little bit more. And like I mentioned, it actually sprays more like a liquid and less like a gel. So I noticed it cuts a little bit more, but at the same time, it doesn't finish as well as the gold standard polish. So it's something a little different, but very similar to the gold standard. And the tire shine, this is actually very impressive because I tested against the dark side, and everyone knows how dark side has that very dark, not too shiny, not too matte kind of finish. This is that, but even darker. Now, I can't say anything about the longevity yet. So far, just applying it, it definitely looks a little darker than dark side. So that's very impressive. I would love to see how it performs over the next month. I'm really excited to see how this lasts because honestly, this might be the next best tire dressing along with ADS Ghost. So next is the spray sealant. This product is actually a very stout ceramic spray sealant. So it's not just some kind of drying aid that you spray on and forget about it. This actually will last on your paint and it provides very good water beading. But it's just one thing you want to be careful is it's not as user-friendly as what you might find from a big box store like the Turtle Wax or the Meguiar's or even ceramic gloss. So this, you want to be careful with the overspray because it will land on your panels and it will actually show the high spots. So one thing I recommend is you spray into the towel and you apply it that way. You spray away from the car. Or if your car is wet and you're combining the drying steps with the application step, then you spray a little closer to the panel. If you're outside, you want to watch out for the wind. If you're indoors, just be careful and do a walk around the vehicle after to check for any high spots or oversprays. But again, I can't say anything about the longevity yet, but if I was a betting man, which I'm not, this will probably last longer just from how solventy it looks. Even though this is water-based formula, I feel like it's gonna have very good longevity. But of course, I can't say that responsibly. So in the future, I'll definitely give you guys an update and see how this lasts. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to try out these products yourself, I'll have them linked down below with my affiliate link at House of Ranks. If you use code WheelsRightCare10, you get 10% off these products. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have tried out these products, please let me know down in the comment. What do you think about them? And again, we're not talking about Pan, we're talking about these products. So leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. like, and subscribe to this channel. That would really help me out a lot. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.